In this lesson, we're going to learn how to play our first note on the flute. We're going to learn the note D. D is written on the fourth line of the music staff. And D is a great note to start with on the flute because to play it, we have to press down most of our home keys, and that makes it a little bit easier to hold the flute. In our earlier lessons, we learned about the home keys on the flute. Home keys means that every finger on your hand has a specific key on the flute that it belongs to. In your lesson book, whenever we learn a new note on the flute, we'll use something called a fingering chart. A fingering chart is basically a diagram or a picture of the home keys on your flute. The fingering chart tells us which keys to press down and which keys to not press down. It's pretty easy. If the key is colored in, it means to press down that home key, and if it's not colored in, don't press that key down. But we still keep our fingers close to the keys even if we're not pressing them down. Let's use the fingering chart to figure out how to play the note D. First, let's begin by placing our fingers on all of the home keys. On your left hand, your left thumb goes on the long flat key on the back. On top of the flute, we have our index finger. We're going to skip this first key and go to this key right here. Skip a key, second finger, third finger. Our pinky is in charge of this key right here. On your right hand, your thumb sits underneath the flute and doesn't press any keys. Your thumb is there to help support the flute. Your three fingers on your right hand go on the bottom three keys of the body. 1, 2, 3. And your thumb supporting on the bottom. And finally, the pinky of our right hand goes right here on this flat key, that's the first key of the foot joint. So here we have all of our fingers on their home keys. Let's take a look at the fingering chart for D, and let's see what we need to press down and what we need to lift up. So if we look at the fingering chart, we can see that many of our home keys are pressed down. Let's look at the keys that are not pressed down. Our left hand index finger should come up. It does not press down the home key. And our pinkies on both hands are up, not pressing down the keys. The rest of our home keys are pressed down. Left hand thumb, left hand second finger and third finger, and our right hand 1, 2, 3 fingers. No pinkies and no first finger. That will give you the note D. Our goal is for our note to sound strong, steady, and clear. If your note doesn't sound like mine, here are a couple things to check. First, double check your fingers and make sure that they're on the correct home keys and that you're pressing down the correct keys according to the fingering chart. If you've double checked all of your fingers and your note still doesn't sound right, you need to check and make sure you're following the correct steps for embouchure. First, make sure that the embouchure hole is in the center of your lips, and we have the lip plate snuggled up in this curve below our bottom lip. Say M. You want your lips to be closed and smooth and relaxed, but the corners a little bit firm. We're going to blow air through the center of our lips as if we're saying the sound of the letter P. In order to get a sound on the flute, we want to direct our air in a slightly downward direction. We want the airstream to go across the embouchure hole and hit the outer edge of the embouchure hole right here. That's what makes the sound. Center the embouchure hole, lips together, M. If you've double-checked your fingers and you've double-checked your embouchure and it's still not working, it's possible that there might be something wrong with your flute. So ask your band director to check and make sure all of your keys are working properly. As I said in our flute head joint video, some students find that they can get a sound right away on the flute with just a little bit of practice. And for other students, it takes a little bit longer and some more practice to get the hang of it. The most important thing to remember is to be patient with yourself and keep practicing. With time, I promise you'll get it.